Hey guys, this is Frost here with another Frost Agency video. As of course some other things have happened, I was planning on releasing a certain game review this week, but life decided to smack me in the face really badly. So obviously there's going to be a couple episodes going out today. There'll be an episode on the market because at least you're guaranteed one episode of this a week because it'll be me talking about the market, speculations, and just multiple news stuff. Extra videos will be on anything else. But I mean nothing happened this week. Why? Pain. So this episode will be Dak's contract. Oh my gosh. I can't say he's overpaid because he's getting Deshaun Watson money, but for all of you who do not know what the contract is, $160 million, $40 million per year. Year one, he gets $75 million. But you could say, oh, well, I mean, if he sucks, they'll cut him. Well, that's $123 million guaranteed. There's only 40 million of that entire contract that's not guaranteed. This officially will be, I think, the third or second largest contract in the NFL. Now, obviously, this also poses the question: will the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl? The Cowboys are obviously going to go to the Super Bowl, right? Well, let me tell you, no, absolutely, they will. I don't even know if they'll win the division. I think they have the offensive power to win the division. But I'm about to. I've said this. I like Cowboys fans, but I hate Cowboys fans. I love the dedication they show to their team. I love the arrogance that they show, saying that we are going to go to the Super Bowl every year. The problem is, realistic Cowboy fans are like, I don't think we'll even make the playoffs, and I don't know if we'll win our division. And I think, like I said, the wild card is going to be hard because look, if Russell Wilson stays in Seattle, the entire NFC West could make the postseason. 49ers, of course, have to stay healthy. But like I said, and of course, they have their own mess that they're dealing with, which I'll go into in the Patriot segment. But right now, as I said, the Cowboys really, I mean, again, if Dak is healthy, they'll go 7-9, 8-8. If Dak is not playing to the up to how he was last season, but stays healthy, they'll go 6-10, 7-9, maybe win the division. If Dak is hurt and they don't re-sign Andy Dalton, and he's like out by week 8, and they're already like, I don't know, I'm just of course by near 4-4, they would probably finish 5-11. So obviously, like I said, Dak's mobility is definitely not going to be up to peak just because, again, an ankle injury is really not a great one because, of course, he'll have to get used to being back there. And you might say, oh, but look at our weapons. Okay, yeah, now time to talk about the O line. And obviously, the Cowboys are, I don't even think they're top 10 in cap room, so I think they are gonna probably try and sneak one or two small good signings, but again, nothing huge. Zach Martin might be on his way out. He played pretty well for when he did, but he got injured and injured and injured, and he's getting up there in age. I mean, he's still in his 30s, but when you suffer injuries all the time, you will probably not be that good. You will probably it will only go down from here. It's never going to go up when you keep getting injured and hurt. It's it's just not going to be realistic. And then you have I don't know I don't remember his name. I think it's like Teo or I don't remember. young left tackle who gets injury prone. That's it. And you have to remember, a bunch of the Great Wall of Dallas from 2016, a bunch of those guys have retired. It's not going to be easy for Dallas, and they need to go offensive tackle. Now, you could say, well, what about tight ends? Good point. No. Your tight end situation is fine, and like I said, you probably should look into signing a guy for like 1 or 2 years. But the real problem is your defense, and I'll get into that right now. So obviously, Chibuike Uzie is gone. So your second best corner, now your best corner, he's gone because you had to sign Dak. And obviously, like I said, if I'm a Cowboys fan, this is what the season's gonna be. Zeke has to prove himself. Dak has to prove he can bounce back. Amari Cooper needs to bounce back. CeeDee Lamb proves he needs to take the next step. Tony Pollard, honestly, is probably going to be the starting running back and shows a lot of promise and will be a cheaper alternative to Zeke. You also have to hope Mike McCarthy does a better job coaching because everyone kept complaining about how Jason Garrett coached this team into the ground, and yet the ground was 8-8, and Mike McCarthy coached this team to what, 5-11, 6-10? And the most incompetent coach this season, it's hard to say. It is a tie for Adam Gase and Mike McCarthy. I think they both are incompetent. They both get bailed out by high talent. And again, the Jets don't have that much high talent. So you could also say that's probably why no one looked at Mike McCarthy. If you didn't have Zeke, if you didn't have Zeke, you didn't have Amari, you didn't have CD, you would probably be up there with the top two picks. The thing is, and you might say, well, Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone is a vanilla coach. He's not bad, but he's not great. He's not going to do something that's always incompetent. Mike McCarthy has done something that's incredibly incompetent. And again, the thing with Jerry Jones is he really does not want to be proved wrong that the signing doesn't work. So he's like, oh, no, 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 no. Just give him time. Well, you also decided to sign Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator. Now, I'm going to say this about Dan Quinn. He was really good when he had a lot of talent. The Cowboys have a lot of talent on defense. Jalen Samuels, Van Der Esch, Demarcus Lawrence, Xavier Woods. They have a lot of talent on defense, so maybe Dan Quinn could do something. But if he brings his choking, yeah, you're done. Now, what does this say about the Cowboys in whole? Well, first of all, it says Andy Dalton will now be a free agent. I don't know if they sign him again. I don't know if Jerry Jones is like, we need to sign him to a 1-year deal again because I don't want to. Because again, if they didn't have that at Dalton last season, they would probably have been a top 3 or top 4 pick because Dalton was at least an okay, serviceable, average quarterback. So he could have led you to the division. The problem, and this is the big one right now, the biggest problem is absolutely the fact that you don't really have a backup plan, especially if Dak goes down. Now you might say, well, Dak's been an Iron Man. It was a freak injury. When you get injured once, the chances of you getting injured again will always be increased. That O-line, that was pretty awful, is probably going to increase his risk. Will the Cowboys be able to sign anyone? Most likely, unless they are humble and wanting to basically go on a cheap contract. But of course, the Cowboys aren't contenders. So that is kind of, like I said, that's kind of where you're at right now. Is like, okay, well, luckily the Cowboys will probably have an easier schedule, and the reason why I say that is two things. A, they don't have to face the NFC West, which good luck to anyone who has to face that division. And then you kind of have to, and then of course you get to I think they face the oh no, I think they face the AFC West, which is toss up. Again, if they have an incredibly good D line, maybe they could beat the Chiefs. We'll get into them momentarily. If they have a good if they, depending on what the Raiders do, they probably could beat the Raiders. Depending on what the Chargers do, they could probably beat the Chargers. Denver, they should beat Denver, but I'll be not surprised if they lost to Denver. And that's kind of what I'm at right now for the Cowboys. As I said, it kind of depends. If Dak stays healthy, 8-8, 7-9. If he stays healthy but does not be as productive as last season, 6-10, 7-9, maybe win the division. If Dak is injured and you probably have Dalton or don't have Dalton, 5-11, or maybe 6-10. And that will be all for this Frost Agency video. Stay safe, stay frosty.